The first one you should be able to tell how to do it. Modulus of z. Modulus of z is just square root of root 2 square plus root 2 square, which is actually 2 plus 2, which is actually just 2. Okay. Then the argument of z is just pi over 4, right? Okay. So why is it pi over 4? Because when you are doing this question here like that, this is root 2 to root 2 lah. Now, like I say, you need to know there are only two ratios, right, in terms of the side which should give you exact argument. One is 1:1, and the other one is root 3 to 1. There are only these two ratios in the exam one. Like all the exact argument only falls between these two ratios. So in other words, if you look at this ratio, this is root 2 to root 2, right? The ratio is definitely 1 now. So it's not like rocket science that you know that this is pi over 4. Okay? So just remember that. Remember that. Pi over 4. So there you go, that's the first one. Now, but part 2, find the argument of OP0 and OP1. Find the area of triangle OP1 and OP2. Okay, great. Find the area of triangle. Okay, let's try and understand what's going on here. P1 is Z, that is okay. P2 is Z square. What's the problem with P2? Z square. You can expand this, not an issue. Z square, you can just root 2 plus root 2 square. You square like that. But that is not ideal, guys. That is not ideal. Why? You don't use Cartesian form to go and solve it. When it's as much as square is concerned, use the exponential form. Exponential form is a very powerful form when it comes to squaring it. So z, because we already know z is actually root 2. So this is 2 ei pi over 4, right? This is my z. So I square it like that. So this case here, what I'll get is actually 2 square ei pi over 2. Ei pi over 2 is actually I. Know that ei pi over 2 is I. If you don't know that, you can just use cosine pi over 2 plus I sine pi over 2. This is 0 and that is 1. Okay, so P2 is actually 4i. Okay, so that is pretty okay. So this is P2. Z square. P0 is then, P0 is given by 1 plus 0i. Okay. So what do we do next? You draw the Argand diagram lah. Nothing fancy there. You draw the Argand diagram. Preferably drawn to scale. If can. Then it's easier to see. So this case here, what you get is actually imaginary and real. Draw P0 first. P0 is 1, right? 1, 0. So P0 is 1, 0 here. This is 1. Root 2 over 2. Root 2 over 2. That is your Z. So root 2 is 1.44 something. So try and draw the scale. So I'm trying to draw the scale here. Root 2. So this case here will be Z P1. Okay. Then we got P2, which is 4i, which is far up here. Not sure where is it. Maybe I should just P4 will be about here. So P2 is here. Great job. Then P0 is so let's say 0 is 1, right? So find the area of 0 P So this is 0. P1 and P0. So is this one here. We want this area here, which is here to here, here to here, here to here. There, nothing fancy there. So this is a geometrical problem. So this area here will just be half times base, which is 1, times height, which is root 2. Root 2 over 2 square units. Okay. OP1, P2, that will be here. This area that you want. Same thing, half times base. Base is 4 units. So this case here, area of triangle OP1, P2, half times base 4 units times height, which is root 2, which is 2 root 2 units. Okay, there you go. I think nothing fancy there. This is pretty okay.